Hi, this is John King with ESFI World. We're here with Twitch TV Community Manager Jared Rea. Jared, it's been 6 months since you've been hired as Twitch TV. How has life been as the community manager for Twitch?
Totally crazy. Yeah, I was, just prior to Twitch TV, I've been working in, social gaming for the past 2 years, and prior to that, I was working at, other gaming companies, Sony, Turner Broadcasting, and a journalist before that. But going from working on social games for a while, which to me was kind of, taking a different route in my career, taking some time to learn some different skills, different talents, and kind of, step out of kind of that crazy hardcore gaming life. So stepping back into it, feet first with Twitch TV is definitely really, really exciting, really crazy, working really long hours, long days, working weekends as well, but it's what I love to do. There's been a lot of challenges, a lot of, kind of crazy things that have happened, but it's been totally worth it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of 2012 so far from Twitch TV's perspective? You've been used as the main streaming partner for the likes of MLG, IEM, and Assembly.
2012 for Twitch TV it's already been really crazy. IEM CBIT was absolutely just a monstrous event. It's really bigger than we could have ever anticipated, and hopefully we're going to be seeing a lot more events like that. This year it's just in esports alone, it's just going to be really, really crazy year. I know MLG's got some really big plans, but and IPL as well. Also on our end, on the Twitch TV's perspective, we got our first major trade show coming up in PAX East, so it'll be our first time with a booth, and we're doing a lot of programming around that as well. And we have a lot of really just major deals coming up to really bring some new life into the site, and also new features that we're rolling out soon as well. You're going to see a lot of major improvements and overhauls to just the overall operation. So it's going to be a really just big crazy year.
Can you tell us a little bit more about some of those special plans? What do you guys have going on at PAX East?
So at PAX East, we're doing a couple of interesting things here. So we're gonna have some announcements at PAX East. So look forward to that. I can't exactly spill those guts, but some of the things we're doing are we've reached out to some of our partners who broadcast on Twitch TV, and we're having them come to our booth at PAX East. We're gonna be hosting just running shows directly from the show floor. So you'll see DJ Wheat for sure. I'm trying to think of who else we have confirmed so that I don't spill anything too secretive. But it won't be it's not all esports at PAX East. It's really going to be kind of this really great platform for us to give Twitch TV a stage and be like, this is what Twitch TV is. Here's all the different gaming styles and voices that it encompasses, and we're just looking to put on a really, really great show.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to talk about MLG for a little bit.
Sure.
How do you think the Winter Championship viewer numbers compare to the Winter Arena?
I'm actually not. Since I'm here in the thick of it, I don't know how their Winter Championship numbers are doing since I'm physically here. But I have been able to check in, online quite a bit. I know the first day was looking really strong. I was actually trying to watch it on the flight in because I unfortunately missed the whole first day. But yeah, I mean the numbers were looking really great from our end. The Winter Arena though, that shattered all our expectations. We actually had a pool going in the office where people were guessing like Price is Right style, like guess how many subscriptions Winter Arena will get without going over, and we were all doing the tricks like, oh, I'm gonna guess this number plus one, just in case. But long story short, nobody went over, and people were throwing out some guesses like here's my completely ludicrous guess, and there's no way. Oh, they did that. Okay, great. That's fantastic. So Winter Arena was a really huge success. So we're super proud to have been a part of that, and they put on a really great product. I don't know if you saw the their viewing site with it was kind of like TVOX on crack. It was like, here's TVOX plus all these really awesome features on top of it. So yeah, it was just a really awesome experience as a viewer, and it was really great for us to be just part of that success.
This championship is also the first time that MLG has brought fighting games into their circuit. Well, not the first time fighting games,
Right,
but
not
the
the
first
first
time for
time.
these three games.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts about MLG's new involvement with the fighting game community?
So MLG's involvement in the fighting community, I mean, I'm super excited about it, first and foremost. And what really excites me about it is that this event represents a really great opportunity for these different fighting game communities. And people use the term fighting game community, but it's actually kind of more apt to say it's the Capcom fighting game community. If it's not Street Fighter, it's not Marvel, it tends to not get as much attention, as much fanfare. And so to see MLG pick up like practically everything that's not Capcom that's being played right now. So it's Mortal Kombat, it's Soul Calibur 5, and it's King of Fighters 13. These are three games, three communities that are kind of underserved at the moment. The Mortal Kombat community is extremely strong, very very passionate, but they don't really get that level of respect from the greater fighting game community. Soul Calibur 5, that's just like a series that I don't think people necessarily trusted it because the third and the fourth games on the series not well received, so I think people were kind of wary. But it's looking to be a really strong game. They have a new patch coming out soon, so hopefully that'll really help build that momentum. I mean, it's a really great game. I actually just recently started getting into it. I'm late to the party myself, so I am guilty of sleeping on it. And King of Fighters 13, that is, in my opinion, the best fighting game that was released in 2011. Like, it's just an absolutely phenomenal game. The only reason why it hasn't been as popular is just because the execution barrier on that game is completely ridiculous. It's a really tough game to get into and to learn and to I guess to master. And I know that there's been a really great community for it in California, and of course it's very much an international game, and there's players from Singapore here as well. So it's really great to see King of Fighters get put on a stage. It's really great to see all three of those games get put on a stage that they might not necessarily get at other events. And as for how MLG handles it, I mean they've already. Throughout this weekend, we've already seen them make adjustments to improve the production. They've been listening to the fans that I've seen through Twitter, and so things are looking pretty positive. And I think for the most part, we'll have to see. Wait for the weekend when the weekend is over, so people can put their thoughts together, and we'll kind of see how it winds up being.
Are you excited for the future of fighting games in MLG?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily hide the fact that this is the level that I want to see fighting games played and produced at. Because in my opinion, there's no reason why a game like like a game like a Street Fighter or a Soul Calibur, there's no reason why these games should not be as popular or even more popular than StarCraft 2 and League of Legends. Just necessarily based on the idea that while those games are really exciting, really fun to watch, there's nothing more intuitive than watching a fighting game. Because even if you don't understand the game, all you have to do is look at it and be like, oh, well, that dude is getting punched in the face, and I want him to win, right? It's just at that very simple level, just to captivate an audience, it instantly grabs you. Where something like a StarCraft or a League of Legends, you have to watch a couple matches for it to really start sinking in, for you to start understanding the flow of the game. And fighting games are just you just immediately get it, and then once as you watch matches, then you get that deeper knowledge. But just to instantly grab you, I mean, fighting games are kind of unrivaled in that department. So yeah, I mean, if being on the pro circuit for fighting games means greater exposure and really stepping up the production quality of fighting games, yeah, I'm super stoked for this.
And how would you say that this MLG compares to some like another major fighting game tournament like say EVO?
So it's really difficult to make that comparison just because this is their first event, and being honest, the crowd participation here at MLG for the fighting games, it's it's on a much smaller level, and that's for a couple of reasons. It's not the most popular games. They announced them. There wasn't enough time between when they announced it to when the event. It was a matter of weeks. And it's also, the fighting game community is, in general, kind of wary of leagues like MLG. But, while I was sitting in the crowd watching Soul Calibur, people were... It was just kind of like a fighting game event, guys standing up, getting loud, getting crazy. And it's funny because the fighting game community likes to say like, oh, well, we don't want our games in MLG or IPL or any of these leagues, because then they're going to censor our hype and they're gonna make us like be quiet and all that stuff. I definitely didn't see that happening. And it's like, and I know some of the commentators were like, hey, like, you guys got to keep up with these StarCraft players, because anytime something happens in StarCraft, it's just this roar that just rips through, the auditorium here. And it's like, it's so weird because at EVO, that's what you're used to with fighting games. When something happens, when someone gets blown up, it's just the crowd erupts. And obviously that's just that's definitely not a lack. There's not a lack of excitement in the crowd here at MLG. It's like a numbers game, right? So hopefully, at the end of this weekend, the guys who were here, the players, the casters, will be able to turn back to the community and be like, you know what, this was actually a really great event, and we should be supporting this. And hopefully, the next time MLG has an event, perhaps in Anaheim, when they bring back fighting games, more people will be more trusting. They'll actually want to see it for themselves. And also, in Southern California, they have an amazing fighting game community. One that's really passionate about it. They're out there week in, week out, and for them, it's almost like no excuses. Like, this is happening in your backyard now. Right now, we're in Columbus, Ohio, so I don't know too much about their fighting games in here, but no excuses for Southern California. Those guys can come out in numbers.
How would you compare the crowd to, say, like, at the fighting game events?
I mean, like I said, do you mean MLG as a whole, or just the guys?
The
in
turnout
the
today. Let's talk about a little bit about what we've seen from the competitors and spectators here.
It's always shocking to me just to see just the number of people who are here. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because they were actually I saw on the MLG Twitter, they were saying stuff like, "Hey, we listened to your feedback. Like, we got more chairs," and it's like a sea of chairs. Like, oh, thank God, because if you've never been to an MLG event, you know that they just. There's always a distinct lack of chairs, but now it's like a whole sea of chairs, and every single one of them are filled. At least when it comes to the StarCraft pit. Yeah, I mean, it's just like every other MLG event. It's a lot of just positive energy. People are well, for the most part. There was that. There was that one incident outside the press room, but outside of that, it's just there's just really awesome positive energy. Just everyone here is just having a blast, and it's really awesome.
Okay. This has been a bit of a controversy, I think, but what are your thoughts on the MLG Extended Series rule?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of silly. The StarCraft community, they knew it was silly. Now the fighting game community is coming into it, and they're like, what are you guys thinking? I really hope that for the future, perhaps not. Well, I would hope this season. I would hope as soon as possible. I hope MLG really rethinks this stance, because we have kind of 3 core communities now in MLG. We have the FPS community with Halo, Call of Duty. We have the StarCraft community, with RTS, and we have fighting games. And I'm not 100% sure if they have the extended rule in the FPS games, but when 2 out of these 3 major communities are both telling you, like, hey, maybe we should really rethink this, I really hope that they rethink this and listen to their fans and kind of reiterate on the process, because nobody wants to waste any time or play games that necessarily like don't feel fair. So yeah, hopefully they rethink that.
So what do you think MLG could do to improve next time?
Actually, it's funny. I was talking to Jason Tugman of iHeart Esports, and he actually threw out a really great idea of, like, when it comes to the fighting game side of MLG, to maybe cater that area a bit more to the fighting game fans. For example, and they did a bit. Last time MLG had a fighter, they had Tekken 6, and the players were sitting on opposite sides of the stage, and that's kind of weird. Like, in fighting games, we need that. We prefer that kind of physicality of sitting next to your opponent, and just being able to kind of read him a bit that way. So they did change up that. Now the players are sitting next to each other. There's a bit more intimacy with it. But the players are still still up on the stage. They're still way apart from everybody, and there is that kind of disconnect. It would be really cool to see in the future, maybe still have them like on a stage, but maybe move the stage a bit closer to the fans. Maybe make the player section a bit closer to the seating area so they can interact a bit more. Just kind of little changes like that that'll help fans of fighting games and that scene feel a bit more welcome, because it is a little weird when I go up and I see Justin Wong playing KOF, and I'm not sitting as close as we are right now. You know, it is kind of weird. It's like, you know, you're up on a stage, but it's like even Evo, right? When you're sitting front row, you're still only like a couple feet from these guys, you know, and it is a weird little disconnect. So you know, hopefully little reiterations like that would definitely go a long way.
Well, thank you for the interview. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
You know, follow us on Twitter and on Facebook at Twitch TV. That's always very much appreciated. We have a lot of really big plans this next year, especially when it comes to promotions. So if you want to win some really cool stuff, you know. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. This has been Jared Rea. I'm John King, and we're out.